Beware. God is trying to protect you from a man, and the name will shock you. God is saving you from a huge danger, so listen to God now. Don't ignore. You must not scroll past this, because what I am about to reveal is standing between you and a danger you do not yet see clearly. I am warning you because I love you, and if you ignore this, you may step into pain that was never meant for you. The man I am speaking about is closer than you think, and the truth about him will shake you, yet I am speaking now to shield you from harm and preserve your future. Comment Amen to affirm your faith. Stay with my words, because in them is protection, clarity, and the breakthrough you have been praying for in secret. I am not trying to frighten you, but I am trying to awaken you. There is a man whose intentions are not aligned with the peace and destiny I have planned for you, and you have sensed small signs but brushed them aside. You have felt discomfort in your spirit when he speaks, yet you convinced yourself that you were overthinking. I am telling you now that the unease was my spirit guarding you from something that would have wounded you deeply. If this touches your heart and you feel my protection already, like this video now as an act of trust in my guidance. The name will shock you because it may be someone you once trusted, admired, or even leaned on during a weak season. I am not exposing him to create bitterness in you, but to prevent a trap that has been quietly forming around your path. His words may sound supportive, but behind them is envy, control, or hidden motives that do not honor your calling. I see what you cannot fully see yet, and I refuse to let you walk blindly into a situation that could steal your peace. I am stepping in now because your destiny matters too much to me to remain silent. This danger is not small, and it is not imaginary. It is a slow drift toward confusion, emotional exhaustion, and spiritual distraction that would pull you away from the life I am building for you. I am saving you from a chain reaction of events that would have left you questioning your worth and doubting my promises. You are chosen, and because you are chosen, opposition will sometimes come disguised as familiarity. I am calling you to pay attention to patterns, to repeated red flags, and to the quiet warnings that rise in your heart when you are around him. I know that part of you wants to believe the best, and that is because your heart is pure. Yet purity must be guarded with wisdom, and I am giving you that wisdom now. The man I am warning you about has been studying your vulnerabilities, not to help you heal, but to use them for his own benefit. His charm has covered intentions that are unstable and unsafe for your future. Write 1111 in the comments to show you believe. I am not allowing this hidden danger to grow any further in your life. You may wonder why I am revealing this now and not earlier, and the answer is timing. There are moments when truth must arrive just before a decision, just before a deeper attachment, just before a commitment that would be difficult to undo. I see the crossroads ahead of you, and I am speaking before you step too far. If you had continued without this warning, the pain would have been heavier and the lesson harder. I am choosing mercy over silence and protection over delay. The shock you will feel when you realize who I am referring to will test your emotions. You may feel disbelief at first, then sadness, and perhaps even anger, but do not let those feelings drown out my guidance. I am not asking you to hate him or confront him with fury. I am asking you to create distance, to guard your heart, and to trust that separation in this moment is preservation for your future. I am redirecting your steps because there is something far better ahead that cannot grow in the presence of hidden danger. I have been gently pulling you back, causing small delays, interrupted plans, and unexpected distractions whenever you were about to step deeper into his influence. Those interruptions were not accidents. They were my shield covering you when you did not even realize you were exposed. You must understand that danger does not always appear violent or loud. Sometimes it comes through emotional dependency, subtle manipulation, and carefully chosen words that slowly reshape your confidence. This man has been positioning himself in your life in a way that would have gradually weakened your independence and clouded your discernment. He may not even see himself clearly, but I see every intention and every hidden insecurity driving his behavior. I am protecting you not only from what he might do, but from what he would slowly become in your life if left unchecked. There were moments when you felt drained after speaking with him, even though nothing openly negative happened. That heaviness was not random, and it was not your imagination. Your spirit was reacting to something misaligned, something that did not carry peace or purity. I allowed you to feel that shift so you would begin to notice the pattern forming. I am teaching you that peace is a sign of my presence, and persistent unrest is a warning that should never be ignored. You are not foolish for trusting, and you are not weak for hoping the best about someone. Your compassion is beautiful, and it reflects my own heart, but compassion without boundaries can lead to harm, and I refuse to let your kindness be exploited. This man has been leaning on your empathy in ways that would have slowly entangled you in his unresolved struggles. I am separating you now because your future cannot flourish in a space where emotional imbalance controls the atmosphere. Write 1212 in the comments to declare that you trust my protection. This act of faith is not about public display, it is about aligning your heart with my guidance. I want you to consciously choose to believe that I see what you do not. When you affirm that trust, you strengthen your obedience and silence the voice of doubt that tries to convince you that you are overreacting. You are not overreacting, you are awakening. Could your brain be the reason you're still broke? Scientists just confirmed. A 9-word sentence hidden deep in your subconscious may be blocking money from your life. But now, you can reverse it. Say these 9 words and wealth starts to follow you starting today. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. The shock you feel about his name will not last forever. After the initial disbelief fades, clarity will begin to rise. You will start remembering small details, conversations that did not sit right, promises that were slightly inconsistent, and moments when his words felt rehearsed instead of genuine. I allowed those details to surface in your memory so that you would not feel confused when distance becomes necessary. You will realize that I was whispering long before I spoke this clearly. This huge danger I am saving you from is connected to your destiny more than you understand. If you had allowed this relationship to deepen, it would have distracted you from opportunities I am preparing. You would have spent emotional energy trying to fix, support, or defend someone who was not meant to walk beside you long term. Your calling requires clarity, strength, and alignment, not constant emotional repair work. I am protecting your time, your focus, and your spiritual momentum. Do not let guilt trap you into staying where I am, telling you to step away. The enemy often uses guilt to hold people in unhealthy bonds. You may feel responsible for his feelings, his struggles, or his reactions when you create distance. But you are not responsible for saving someone at the cost of your own well-being. I am your savior, and I did not design you to carry burdens that were never assigned to you. There is also something you have not seen yet. Behind his attempts to stay close to you is a fear of losing control. He senses that you are growing, healing, and becoming stronger, and that growth threatens his position in your life. Instead of celebrating your progress, part of him resents it. That resentment would have eventually surfaced in subtle competition, criticism disguised as advice, or emotional withdrawal designed to make you chase approval. I am removing you before that cycle begins. You are not losing a blessing, you are escaping a trap. What I have for you will not require you to shrink, silence your intuition, or constantly prove your worth. The person meant to walk beside you will honor your growth, not feel threatened by it. They will support your faith, not quietly mock or undermine it. They will bring peace to your spirit, not confusion disguised as intensity. There is a reason this warning feels urgent. You are approaching a decision point, whether it is a commitment, partnership, shared project, or emotional confession. If you moved forward without my guidance, the consequences would ripple through your future. I am cutting off the path before it leads you into deeper attachment. I am not punishing you, I am preserving you. You may also notice that as you begin to pull back, his behavior shifts. He may become unusually attentive, apologetic, or persuasive. He may promise change, offer reassurance, or suddenly present himself as more aligned with your values. This reaction is not transformation, it is fear of losing access. True change requires humility and consistent action over time, not urgent charm when distance appears. Write 777 inches the comments as a declaration that you choose wisdom over emotion. Let that be your reminder that obedience sometimes feels uncomfortable but leads to safety. You are not called to react in anger or to expose him publicly. You are called to quietly reposition yourself under my protection. Silence and distance will speak louder than confrontation in this season. I am teaching you discernment because where you are going, discernment will be essential. The blessings ahead of you require maturity in choosing who has access to your heart and your plans. Not everyone who shows interest deserves intimacy. Not everyone who speaks kindly carries pure intention. You must learn to measure words by patterns and affection by consistency. Do not be afraid of the loneliness that may follow separation. I am filling that space with something greater. The emptiness you feel at first will become clarity, then peace, and eventually gratitude. One day you will look back and realize that this warning saved you from months or years of regret. I am rewriting your story by removing a chapter that would have ended in sorrow. There have been patterns before him, different faces with similar energy. Each time you tried to heal, to help, or to hold together something that was already misaligned. I allowed those experiences to teach you, but I will not allow them to repeat endlessly. This time I am intervening early, before attachment grows roots that are harder to pull out. You are not destined to relive the same emotional cycle again and again. This man carries wounds he has not surrendered to me. Instead of seeking healing, he seeks attachment to fill the emptiness inside him. When he looks at you, he does not just see a companion. He sees comfort, stability, and someone who can carry emotional weight he refuses to confront. That is not partnership. That is imbalance. I am protecting you from becoming a refuge for someone who should be running to me. You may have noticed how conversations subtly turn toward his struggles, his frustrations, and his disappointments. You find yourself listening more than speaking, encouraging more than receiving encouragement. At first it felt meaningful, even intimate, but over time it became draining. I allowed you to feel that shift so you would understand the difference between mutual connection and emotional extraction. I never designed you to be someone's constant emotional rescue. There is also something deeper that you have not fully admitted to yourself. You sensed a small competitiveness in him whenever you shared your progress, your dreams, or your spiritual growth. It was subtle, perhaps masked by humor or light teasing, but it was there. Instead of celebrating your advancement, he seemed slightly unsettled by it. That unsettled spirit would have grown into quiet sabotage if I had not stepped in. Write 5 inches the comments as a sign that you accept my correction and protection. This declaration is not about pride. It is about surrendering your attachments to my wisdom. When you agree with me, you align your heart with the path I am clearing. I want you to feel confident that stepping back is not failure, it is obedience. Obedience will always carry more peace than forced connection. Why did 19,583 people suddenly become financially free last month? They all discovered a strange sentence, just 9 words long, buried in neuroscience research and once hidden by the FBI. Now they're paying off debt, traveling the world, and living in homes they never thought they could afford. If you're seeing this, you're lucky the page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You must also understand that the shock of his name is not meant to break your heart, but to open your eyes. Sometimes the ones you least expect can become the greatest source of hidden harm. That is why discernment is more valuable than surface impressions. I see behind smiles, behind compliments, behind promises that sound sincere. I am not accusing without reason. I am revealing what has already been forming. There were moments when you felt pressured to move faster than you were comfortable with. Decisions, commitments, or emotional disclosures seemed to escalate quickly. You sensed that something was rushing you, and that sense of urgency was not from me. I move with clarity and peace, not manipulation and pressure. Whenever you feel pushed beyond your inner comfort, pause and listen carefully. The huge danger I am saving you from would not have appeared all at once. It would have unfolded slowly through compromise. You would have ignored small discomforts to maintain harmony. You would have sacrificed pieces of your own voice to avoid conflict. Over time, you would have found yourself smaller, quieter, and more uncertain than before. I refuse to let that happen to you. You are growing into someone bold, spiritually aware, and emotionally strong. That growth cannot survive in an environment where you must constantly tiptoe around another person's insecurities. I am not calling you to isolation. I am calling you to alignment. The right connection will expand you, not restrict you. You might still feel moments of doubt. You may wonder if you misunderstood, if you are being too cautious, or if distance is too drastic. In those moments, remember the peace you feel when you imagine stepping away fully. That peace is my confirmation. Fear shouts, but my guidance settles quietly and steadily within you. As you create space, you may notice attempts to re-enter your life more forcefully. There could be emotional appeals, dramatic apologies, or sudden declarations meant to stir your sympathy. Do not let intensity confuse you into thinking change has occurred. True transformation is consistent and patient, not desperate and reactive. I am teaching you to measure actions over time, not emotions in a moment. Write 999 inches the comments to declare that you choose peace over pressure. Let that phrase anchor your heart when emotions try to pull you backward. You are not abandoning someone, you are obeying me. The difference matters more than you realize. Obedience now prevents regret later. There is also protection over your future relationships tied to this warning. If you had stayed entangled, the right person would have been delayed or blocked entirely. I am clearing the path so that when alignment comes, you will be emotionally available and spiritually steady. I do not want you entering something new while still draining energy into something misaligned. I am making room for health by removing imbalance. You must not confuse loneliness with loss. There will be moments when silence feels heavy, when you miss familiar conversations or shared routines. But those feelings will fade as strength grows. What feels empty now will soon feel peaceful. I am filling your space with clarity, confidence, and deeper intimacy with me. This warning is not only about one man. It is about a new standard forming in your life. I am teaching you that access to your heart must be earned through consistency, respect, and alignment with my ways. You are no longer available for half-hearted connections or hidden motives. You are stepping into a season where peace is the foundation of every relationship. I am reshaping that pattern now. This is the season where your discernment becomes sharper than your desire to be understood. The man I warned you about sensed your compassion from the beginning. He noticed how you listen deeply, how you support quietly, and how you stand firm for those you care about. Instead of honoring that strength, he began leaning on it. Slowly, his presence started occupying mental and emotional space that should have been reserved for growth and peace. I saw the imbalance forming, and I chose to interrupt it before it became a burden too heavy for you to carry. There is something you need to understand about hidden danger. It often comes wrapped in familiarity. It feels normal because you have already invested time, emotion, and trust. That familiarity can blind you to subtle control. I am removing that blindfold gently but clearly. You may remember moments when he subtly dismissed your spiritual convictions. Perhaps he laughed lightly at something sacred to you, or shifted the subject when you spoke about your faith. Those moments were not random. They were small glimpses into a heart that does not align with the path I am leading you on. You cannot build a future on foundations that quietly undermine your faith. Write 2 inches the comments as a sign that you are ready to walk in deeper discernment. Let that act remind you that I am guiding you step by step. You are not navigating this alone. Every decision you make in alignment with my voice strengthens your spiritual maturity. Obedience builds clarity, and clarity builds peace. The huge danger I am saving you from would have grown through emotional dependency. He would have become increasingly reliant on your reassurance while giving little stability in return. Over time, you would have felt responsible for keeping his mood steady and his confidence intact. That responsibility would have drained you and blurred your focus. I refuse to let your calling be diluted by someone else's unresolved struggles. You may also notice that as you pull back, he becomes more attentive. Sudden kindness, unexpected compliments, or renewed interest can feel flattering, but you must ask yourself whether those gestures reflect transformation or fear of losing control. When someone senses distance, they sometimes intensify their efforts not out of love, but out of insecurity. I am teaching you to see beyond temporary gestures. Could a 9-word ritual really be your key to financially freedom? What sounds like fiction is now being confirmed by science. Harvard researchers and FBI documents point to a hidden brain center that, when activated, draws in abundance naturally. This 9-word prayer has helped over 19,000 broke people attract wealth and live a life full of abundance. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. There is a future ahead of you that requires emotional freedom. If you had stayed entangled, your thoughts would have revolved around his reactions, his needs, and his unpredictability. Your creativity would have slowed, your confidence would have softened. Your spiritual growth would have been compromised by constant tension. I am not punishing him, and I am not condemning him. I am simply protecting you. His journey is separate from yours. He must confront his own patterns without leaning on you as support. You are not responsible for fixing what he refuses to heal. You may feel moments of guilt as you establish boundaries. That guilt does not come from me. I do not require you to sacrifice your peace to prove kindness. True love never demands self-erosion. I want you whole, strong, and focused. Write 10 inches the comments to declare that you choose strength over guilt. Let that statement anchor you when emotions try to pull you backward. You are not being unkind, you are being wise. Wisdom will guard your future more effectively than emotional compromise ever could. There is also something profound happening beneath the surface. As you step away, you are reclaiming parts of yourself that were quietly shrinking. Your voice will grow firmer, your boundaries will feel clearer, your sense of direction will sharpen. I am preparing you for connections that will honor your growth. The person meant to stand beside you will not feel threatened by your strength. They will celebrate your faith and support your calling. They will not require you to downplay your light to maintain harmony. You must trust that I am orchestrating protection you cannot fully see yet. There were conversations that would have escalated. There were commitments that would have tightened. There were emotional entanglements that would have been difficult to untangle later. I stepped in early because your destiny is too valuable to risk. The shock of his name will eventually transform into gratitude. You will look back and recognize how carefully I guarded you. You will see how delays, interruptions, and even minor conflicts were acts of divine intervention. What felt confusing at the time was actually preservation. Do not fear the quiet that follows separation. Silence can feel uncomfortable when you are used to constant interaction, but within that silence, your thoughts will clear, your spirit will settle, your heart will breathe freely again. You are not losing companionship, you are gaining alignment. Alignment will attract healthier connections and stronger opportunities. When you move in harmony with my guidance, doors open naturally without force. Remember that this warning was not meant to create suspicion toward everyone. It was specific, intentional, and timely. I am not calling you to mistrust the world. I am calling you to trust my voice above all others. The huge danger I am saving you from would have distracted you from blessings already forming. Opportunities are approaching that require confidence and clarity. You cannot step into those blessings while entangled in confusion. I am clearing the path so that when the right door opens, you will walk through it freely. Stay anchored in my presence. When doubt whispers, return to the peace you felt when you first sensed this warning was true. That peace is confirmation. I am protecting your heart, your future, and your purpose. I never asked you to prove your love through suffering. I am teaching you that protection is not selfish and boundaries are not betrayal. The man I warned you about would have slowly normalized imbalance. At first, it would have felt like small compromises. You would have silenced minor discomfort to keep peace. You would have adjusted your schedule, your priorities, and even your tone to accommodate his unpredictability. Over time, those small adjustments would have reshaped your identity. You would have found yourself explaining why you felt tired, why your joy seemed dimmer, and why your focus was fractured. I saw that future clearly, and I chose to interrupt it. I will not let you become a smaller version of yourself for the sake of maintaining someone else's comfort. You must recognize something important. When I say beware, I am not only warning you about him, I am warning you about patterns within you that attract imbalance. Your heart is generous, and generosity is beautiful. But without discernment, generosity becomes vulnerability in the wrong hands. He was drawn to your steadiness because he lacked his own. He admired your clarity but also felt threatened by it. Instead of rising to your level, he would have subtly tried to lower yours. That lowering would not have happened through loud arguments, but through quiet discouragement. There would have been moments when he questioned your decisions in ways that sounded logical but carried doubt. There would have been subtle comments that chipped at your confidence. You might have found yourself seeking his approval more than you realized. I am cutting off that influence before it takes root. Write 15 inches the comments to declare that you accept my protection without hesitation. This is not about pride, it is about alignment. When you declare acceptance, you strengthen your resolve. You remind yourself that my guidance is not optional, it is essential. You may still feel waves of emotion. Attachment does not disappear overnight. There were good moments, kind gestures, and shared laughter. I am not denying that some parts felt genuine, but goodness in moments does not erase danger in patterns. The huge danger I am saving you from was not a single event. It was a gradual erosion of your peace. You would have slowly carried more weight than you were meant to bear. Your dreams would have been postponed to manage someone else's instability. I see the future I have prepared for you. It requires strength, clarity, and emotional freedom. It requires a partner who stands beside you, not one who leans heavily on you. It requires mutual growth, not silent competition. As you continue creating distance, you may notice attempts to pull you back emotionally. He may remind you of shared memories. He may emphasize how much he values you. He may even promise change. Do not let promises overshadow patterns. True transformation is proven over time, not declared in urgency. I am teaching you to value consistency over intensity. Intensity can feel powerful, but consistency builds safety. What do brain surgeons and billionaires know that you don't? This 9-word money code, once reserved for elites, is now being shared with everyday people, and the results are mind-boggling. Cash windfalls, cleared debt, and lifelong stress gone, but the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You are not abandoning someone in need. You are refusing to be misused as a solution. I am your refuge, and he must learn to find his refuge in me as well. You are not his savior. Write 17 inches the comments to affirm that you choose peace over pressure. Let that phrase ground you when emotions rise. Peace is a sign of alignment with me. Pressure is often a sign of misalignment. There is another layer you have not fully considered. If you had remained entangled, resentment would have eventually formed within you. You would have felt unappreciated for the energy you invested. That resentment would have confused you because you cared deeply. I am preventing that internal conflict. I am preserving your capacity to love without bitterness. When the right person enters your life, I want your heart open, not guarded by exhaustion. I want you whole, not worn down. You are entering a season where your standards rise, not standards of perfection, but standards of health. You will no longer ignore discomfort for the sake of avoiding loneliness. You will no longer silence your intuition to keep connection. I am increasing your spiritual sensitivity. That sensitivity is not weakness, it is strength guided by wisdom. When something feels unsettled, you will not dismiss it. You will pause and seek my direction. The shock of his name will one day transform into clarity about your growth. You will realize that I trusted you enough to reveal truth directly. That revelation means you are maturing. I am not hiding lessons from you anymore. The huge danger I am saving you from would have delayed your purpose. You are standing on the edge of opportunities that require confidence and focus. If your emotional energy were tied to instability, you would hesitate when I open new doors. I am clearing distractions before expansion. I am removing imbalance before blessing. This is not loss, it is preparation. You cannot carry unnecessary weight into the next level. Stay steady. Do not be swayed by temporary emotions. Feel them, but do not let them control your decisions. Anchor yourself in the peace that followed. My warning, I am not leading you into isolation. I am leading you into alignment. The companionship I have prepared for you will not require constant rescue or explanation. It will feel secure and supportive. Beware does not mean live in fear. It means live aware. Awareness is protection. Awareness is strength. You are favored, and because you are favored, I intervene. I do not allow hidden harm to grow unchecked around you. I guard your heart because your heart carries purpose. You have often mistaken intensity for connection. When someone showed strong interest, quick attachment, or emotional urgency, you interpreted it as depth. I am correcting that perspective gently but firmly. Depth is not proven by speed, and passion is not proven by pressure. Real connection grows steadily, without forcing you to compromise your peace. The huge danger I am saving you from would have unfolded in layers. At first, it would have looked like closeness. Then it would have become dependence. After that, it would have turned into subtle control. By the time you recognized the imbalance, disentangling yourself would have been painful and complicated. I interrupted the process before it could reach that stage. I did not wait for a dramatic collapse. I acted at the early signs because I value your future too much to allow unnecessary scars. My protection does not always look dramatic, but it is always precise. You may still wonder how someone who seemed kind could carry hidden harm. Kindness without stability can still wound. Affection without maturity can still damage. I see motives beneath behavior, and I act according to what I see in full clarity. Write 1919 inches the comments as a declaration that you trust my unseen vision. When you write that, you are acknowledging that my perspective reaches beyond your current understanding. I want you to feel secure, knowing that nothing escapes my sight. Every hidden intention, every subtle manipulation, and every unstable pattern is visible to me. There were moments when he asked for more access to your time and emotional energy than felt balanced. You may have dismissed it because you wanted to be supportive, but over time that access would have expanded until your own needs were quietly neglected. I am restoring balance before neglect turns into regret. You are stepping into a season where your time is sacred. Your focus is sacred. Your peace is sacred. Not everyone will have access to those sacred spaces. The shock you feel about his name will eventually feel like relief. You will realize that clarity is a gift, even when it disrupts comfort. Comfort built on instability is not safety. True safety feels calm, steady, and grounded. I am also healing the part of you that fears disappointing others. That fear would have kept you entangled longer than necessary. You would have stayed to avoid conflict. You would have softened your boundaries to avoid appearing harsh. But I am strengthening you now. Boundaries are not walls of cruelty. They are fences of protection. They preserve what is valuable inside. Write 333 inches the comments to affirm that you choose strength over fear of disappointment. This declaration is a step toward emotional freedom. When you stop managing others' reactions, you regain control of your own direction. Freedom begins with courage. The huge danger I am saving you from included the slow erosion of your confidence. Over time, subtle criticism or comparison would have caused you to question your progress. You might have second-guessed your growth, your decisions, even your calling. I am protecting your confidence, because confidence is essential for where I am leading you. You cannot walk boldly into your purpose while constantly seeking reassurance from someone insecure. I want your assurance rooted in me, not in fluctuating approval. Why is the government desperate to hide this 9-word prayer? A shocking FBI leak has just revealed a simple 9-word prayer, now letting everyday people erase debt and attract unstoppable wealth. Verified by leading scientists and supported by Harvard research, this at-home ritual is turning financial stress into a life of luxury. Dream homes, new cars, luxurious vacations, it's all within reach, but the government could take down this secret any moment. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. As distance grows, you may feel moments of nostalgia. You may remember the good conversations and shared laughter. Nostalgia can soften your resolve if you are not careful. Do not let memory override discernment. Good moments do not cancel unhealthy patterns. I am not asking you to erase kindness, but I am asking you to weigh consistency more heavily than isolated sweetness. There is also a lesson here about timing. If this warning had come later, the attachment would have been stronger and the separation more painful. I chose this moment intentionally. I intervened before emotional roots grew too deep. You must trust my timing, even when it feels abrupt. Abrupt clarity is often mercy in disguise. I will not allow you to invest years where alignment does not exist. You are favored. Favor means I step in before harm fully forms. Favor means I block paths that look appealing but lead to regret. Favor means I value your destiny enough to disrupt your comfort. The future I am preparing for you includes stability and mutual strength. It includes companionship that enhances your calling rather than competes with it. It includes peace that does not require constant negotiation. I am teaching you to recognize that peace is not boring. Peace is powerful. Chaos may feel exciting, but excitement without safety is unstable. I want you grounded, not entangled in emotional turbulence. As you continue walking away from this hidden danger, your clarity will sharpen. You will notice how much lighter you feel. Your thoughts will be less cluttered. Your spirit will feel less burdened. This lightness is confirmation. It is proof that obedience brings relief. When you align with my warning, I align your path with protection. Do not fear what comes next. I am not leaving you empty. I am clearing space for healthier connections, deeper joy, and stronger faith. I am replacing instability with peace. Beware was not spoken to alarm you, it was spoken to awaken you. I am saving you from a huge danger, and I will continue guarding your steps as long as you listen. There is something subtle that you are just beginning to recognize. When you imagine a future without his influence, you feel a quiet relief. That relief is not coldness, it is confirmation. I place peace in your spirit when you are aligned with my will. Even if emotions feel tangled, peace underneath them is my signature. The huge danger I am saving you from included confusion that would have distorted your sense of direction. You might have found yourself constantly analyzing his moods, his tone, and his reactions. Instead of focusing on your purpose, you would have been managing instability. That constant mental calculation would have slowly exhausted you. You were never created to live in emotional survival mode. You were created to thrive. Thriving requires clarity and stability, not constant adaptation to unpredictable behavior. I am restoring your emotional balance before imbalance becomes normal. You may also begin to see that some of your prayers were answered through this warning. You asked me for clarity. You asked me to remove what was not meant for you. You asked me to protect your heart from unnecessary pain. This is that protection unfolding in real time. Sometimes, my answers arrive as removal rather than addition. I take away what would harm you, so that what blesses you has room to enter. Removal can feel uncomfortable, but it is still grace. Write 8 inches the comments to declare that you accept my pruning in your life. When you affirm this, you align your heart with growth. Pruning is not rejection, it is preparation. I am shaping you for something stronger. The man I warned you about would have gradually expected you to prioritize him above your own rhythm. He might not have demanded it openly, but subtle expectation would have formed. You would have felt pressure to respond quickly, to reassure frequently, and to adjust constantly. I am freeing you from that expectation. The right connection will not require you to abandon your pace. It will respect your time, your commitments, and your boundaries. Respect is not a luxury, it is a necessity. As you step further away, you may notice attempts to re-enter your life with renewed intensity. There may be sudden vulnerability, heartfelt confessions, or promises of change. Listen carefully to what follows those words. Do actions align consistently, or do they fluctuate with emotion? Consistency is the evidence of growth. I am teaching you to observe patterns calmly rather than reacting emotionally. The huge danger I am saving you from also included spiritual distraction. When you are entangled in unstable relationships, your focus shifts from prayer and purpose to problem solving. Your energy becomes divided. Your faith becomes reactive rather than proactive. I want your faith steady and confident. I want your mind clear when I speak. I want your heart free to receive what I am building next. Write 6 inches the comments as a declaration that you choose spiritual clarity over emotional chaos. This declaration strengthens your awareness. When you speak alignment, you solidify it. You may still experience moments of doubt. You may wonder if you misunderstood or overestimated the risk. In those moments, remember the early discomfort you felt. Remember the subtle tension that never fully left. Those were my gentle warnings. I do not create confusion. When something consistently unsettles your spirit, pay attention. You are not rejecting him out of pride. You are repositioning yourself under my protection. Protection sometimes feels like distance. There is also a deeper healing happening within you. Each time you honor your intuition, you rebuild trust in yourself. For too long, you doubted your own discernment. I am restoring that confidence. Confidence in discernment will guard your future relationships. You will no longer ignore red flags for the sake of companionship. You will no longer interpret inconsistency as complexity. I am raising your standard quietly but firmly. Not a standard of perfection, but a standard of health. Health means mutual effort. Health means emotional stability. Health means spiritual alignment. The shock of his name will eventually feel like a turning point. You will look back and realize that this was the moment you chose wisdom over attachment. That choice will ripple through your life positively. Is it possible to attract money by simply speaking some miraculous words? This 9-word script, verified by Harvard and 6 neuroscience labs, proves you absolutely can. People are using it from their couch and reporting unexpected bank deposits, cleared debts, and upgraded lives. It takes less than 30 seconds. But this secret won't stay online long. Click the description and comments now to access it before it's permanently deleted. The huge danger I am saving you from would have delayed opportunities already approaching. Doors are preparing to open. New connections are forming. You cannot step into those spaces with lingering confusion. I am clearing your path in advance. I remove obstacles before you fully see them. I block detours that appear appealing but lead nowhere. Stay steady. Do not allow nostalgia to rewrite reality. Feel your emotions, but do not let them lead you. Peace is your compass now. If you feel peace when you imagine distance, follow that peace. If you feel tension when you imagine returning, respect that tension. I am not leading you into loneliness. I am leading you into alignment. Alignment attracts what is meant for you naturally. Trust that I am saving you from a huge danger that would have drained your strength and dimmed your light. Your light must remain bright for the calling ahead. The huge danger I am saving you from would have slowly shaped your emotional world in ways you did not anticipate. You would have found yourself explaining his behavior to others, defending actions that unsettled you, and rationalizing patterns that chipped at your confidence. That rationalization would have exhausted you. I refuse to let you carry the burden of justifying what your spirit already knows is misaligned. You must understand that some people enter your life not to stay, but to reveal what you will no longer tolerate. He was a lesson, not a lifelong partner. He exposed areas where you still needed stronger boundaries. Instead of feeling ashamed for almost overlooking the signs, feel grateful that clarity arrived before damage deepened. As you step back, your emotional clarity will sharpen. You will begin noticing how much mental space he occupied. You will realize how often you adjusted your thoughts around his reactions. That awareness is part of your growth. Write 444 inches the comments to affirm that you choose awareness over attachment. This declaration is not about detachment from love, it is about detachment from imbalance. Awareness keeps your heart safe. Attachment without wisdom leads to confusion. There were subtle ways he tested your limits, small jokes that crossed boundaries, comments that seemed harmless but left you slightly uneasy. Moments where he downplayed your concerns instead of listening carefully. Those were not random. They were indicators of how deep a conflict would have been handled. I am protecting you from future scenarios that would have required you to constantly defend your feelings. The huge danger I am saving you from also involved erosion of your spiritual confidence. You would have hesitated to speak openly about your faith if you sensed indifference or quiet resistance. You might have softened your convictions to maintain harmony. That softening would have slowly distanced you from your true center. I will not allow you to shrink your faith to fit someone else's comfort. Your spiritual foundation must remain firm. The right connection will respect it, not quietly compete with it. You may still feel moments of sadness. Separation can stir grief even when it is necessary. Allow yourself to feel without condemning yourself. Emotions do not mean you made the wrong choice. What matters is the peace that follows obedience. Beneath the sadness there is stability. Beneath the uncertainty, there is relief. As time passes, you will notice how much lighter your conversations feel. Your thoughts will be less preoccupied. Your energy will return. That returning energy is proof that you were carrying more than you realized. Emotional imbalance drains gradually, which is why it can be difficult to detect at first. I stepped in before the drain became depletion. Write 1313 in the comments to declare that you trust my redirection fully. When you declare trust, you silence lingering doubt. Doubt thrives in silence, but confidence grows in affirmation. I want you confident in the path you are walking now. The future I am guiding you toward includes stability that does not need constant maintenance. It includes connection built on shared growth rather than emotional dependence. It includes companionship that strengthens your calling rather than competes with it. You must also recognize that not everyone who shows interest deserves intimacy. Interest can be driven by need rather than love. Intimacy requires alignment, respect, and emotional maturity. I am teaching you to observe actions calmly over time. Do not rush emotional decisions. Do not mistake urgency for destiny. The shock of his name will eventually become a marker in your journey. It will represent the moment you chose wisdom over impulse. It will remind you that you are capable of hearing my voice clearly. The huge danger I am saving you from would have created cycles of reconciliation and disappointment. You would have experienced temporary peace followed by recurring tension. That cycle would have worn you down slowly. I am breaking that cycle before it forms. I am preventing repetition of past patterns. You are stepping into a new season where health replaces chaos. You may encounter him again in conversation or circumstance. When that happens, remain calm. Let your boundaries speak through consistency. You do not need dramatic confrontation. Distance, clarity, and steadiness are enough. Protection does not require spectacle. Remember that my warning came because you are valued. I intervene when something threatens your peace. I do not stay silent while hidden harm grows. You are not alone in this transition. I am guiding every step. When uncertainty tries to creep in, return to the peace you felt when clarity arrived. That peace is your anchor. It is stronger than nostalgia. It is stronger than temporary emotion. I am saving you from a huge danger that would have slowly reshaped your identity. I am restoring your confidence, strengthening your discernment, and preparing you for relationships that reflect my design. Continue walking forward without regret. Continue trusting my guidance without hesitation. The obedience you are practicing now is shaping a future filled with stability, joy, and connection rooted in truth rather than illusion. The huge danger I am saving you from would have taught you to tolerate subtle disrespect. It would have conditioned you to accept inconsistency as normal. Over time, you would have adjusted your expectations downward to maintain connection. I will not allow you to lower your standards for the sake of temporary companionship. What if everything you've been taught about money is a lie? A hidden 9-word prayer buried in a classified FBI report is now helping thousands attract wealth without lifting a finger. Scientists say it activates a 150 million year old part of your brain that controls abundance. Harvard-backed, lab-tested, life-changing. But the government might pull this secret any minute. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted forever. You have always been willing to see the good in people. That is a beautiful quality. But seeing the good does not mean ignoring the unhealthy. I am teaching you to hold both truths at the same time. Someone can have admirable traits and still be misaligned for your future. There were moments when his words and actions did not fully match. Promises were made with enthusiasm, yet follow-through was inconsistent. Explanations were offered quickly, but accountability felt shallow. Those inconsistencies were early warnings. You sensed them, but part of you hoped they would resolve over time. Hope without evidence can become self-deception. I am protecting you from investing years into potential that lacks foundation. Write 14 inches the comments to declare that you choose truth over wishful thinking. Let that phrase remind you that clarity is an act of self-respect. Truth may feel sharp at first, but it prevents deeper wounds later. I want you grounded in reality, not entangled in illusions. The huge danger I am saving you from also involved emotional unpredictability. You might have found yourself walking on invisible eggshells, not because he was openly aggressive, but because moods shifted without warning. You would have become skilled at reading subtle signals to avoid tension. That constant vigilance would have drained your energy. I did not design you to live in quiet anxiety. I designed you for steady confidence and calm security. You are beginning to notice how peaceful your mind feels without the need to monitor someone else's emotional temperature. That peace is not coincidence. It is confirmation that you are carrying an invisible weight. As you move forward, you may reflect on conversations where you minimized your concerns. You may realize how often you softened your voice to avoid disagreement. That reflection is not meant to shame you. It is meant to strengthen you. You are learning to trust your discomfort. Discomfort is not always fear. Sometimes it is wisdom signaling misalignment. Write 16 inches the comments as a declaration that you honor your intuition from now on. When you affirm this, you are committing to growth. Growth requires honesty with yourself. I am pleased with the courage you are showing. The future I am guiding you toward includes mutual stability. It includes a connection where your strength is admired rather than subtly challenged. It includes someone who does not need to compete with your calling. You must understand that when I say I am saving you from a huge danger, I mean I am protecting not only your heart but your destiny. The right opportunities are approaching. You will need clarity and confidence to recognize them. If your energy was still entangled in confusion, you might overlook what I am sending. I clear distractions before expansion. I remove imbalance before blessing. Do not mistake quiet for emptiness. Quiet is space for growth. In this space, your thoughts become clearer. Your vision becomes sharper. You may encounter moments of nostalgia, but do not let nostalgia override discernment. Memory can romanticize what reality struggled with. Return to the patterns you observed. Patterns reveal truth. There will be times when you wonder if he has changed. Change is proven through consistent action over time, not through emotional declarations. If transformation ever occurs, it will be visible without pressure from you. Your responsibility is not to monitor his growth. Your responsibility is to guard your own peace. Peace is a gift I place within you when you walk in alignment. The huge danger I am saving you from would have slowly redefined your identity around someone else's instability. You would have adjusted your dreams to accommodate unpredictability. I refuse to let your purpose shrink. I am elevating your standards because you are growing. Growth requires separation from what no longer fits. Not everything that enters your life is meant to remain. You are not being hardened, you are being refined. Refinement strengthens discernment without removing compassion. Stay attentive to the calm that now surrounds your thoughts. That calm is my presence. It is evidence that you are moving correctly. Continue choosing peace over pressure. Continue choosing wisdom over emotion. Continue choosing clarity over comfort. I am not done protecting you. I will continue to reveal what is hidden before it harms you. That is my promise to you. The shock of his name was necessary. It broke illusion. It awakened awareness. You are favored. Favor means I intervene early. Favor means I guard your path carefully. Trust that what I remove is replaced with something better. Trust that every step of obedience is positioning you for stability and joy. The huge danger I was saving you from was never just about one man. It was about a pattern that could have attached itself to your future if left unchecked. Patterns repeat when they are not confronted. I confronted this one early because your destiny requires a different standard. You are starting to see how easily emotional intensity can disguise imbalance. Quick attachment can feel flattering. Strong interest can feel validating. But validation without stability does not build a secure foundation. I am teaching you to examine foundations rather than surface emotions. A solid foundation is built on consistency, respect, and shared direction. It is not built on chemistry alone. There were moments when his presence felt exciting yet slightly unsettling. That combination is not depth, it is unpredictability. Unpredictability creates emotional highs and lows that can feel addictive. I do not want your heart trained to crave instability. I want it anchored in steady peace. Peace may feel quieter than excitement, but it lasts longer and builds stronger roots. Write 18 inches the comments to declare that you choose steady peace over emotional highs and lows. Let that phrase seal your commitment to growth. Peace is not boring. Peace is secure. The huge danger I saved you from also involved comparison. Over time, you might have compared your growth to his stagnation. You might have felt guilt for progressing while he struggled. That imbalance would have placed you in a caretaker role instead of an equal partnership. Why are neuroscientists obsessed with a 9-word sentence? Because this sentence, spoken once a day, is turning financial stress into sudden blessings. More than 19,000 people have already used it to erase debt and unlock a life of wealth, freedom, and peace. The results are so powerful. Some believe it's divine. If you're seeing this, you're lucky. The page might disappear any moment. Click the link in the description and comments to know this secret before it's deleted forever. You are not called to shrink your progress to match someone else's pace. You are called to continue rising in alignment with me. The right person will rise alongside you. As you step forward, your confidence is returning. You speak more freely, you think more clearly, your decisions feel less clouded. That clarity is not coincidence. It is the result of releasing confusion. Confusion often masquerades as complexity, but complexity that drains you is not depth. You may still encounter thoughts that question whether you were too cautious,